What is going on, MLMers? I'm super excited to be here inside your guys' course. A couple of weeks ago, Zachary Spear reached out to me and asked me if I could create a piece of content for you guys to help you guys with the art of free traffic, to get you more attention online, to help you guys get more leads, more traffic, more sales, and I'm super excited to be here. Now, full transparency, before I get into a little bit about me, because I'm sure you're wondering who the heck is this Jeff guy and why is he in our membership access area? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me here in a second, but before we get there, Zach is an awesome dude, and he reached out to me and gave me this short window. We're all hustlers. We all want to work fast. We all want to compress time. And so usually when I create content in courses like this, it takes me about a month, month and a half, maybe 2 months, sometimes longer, to go in and kind of polish it, to test the message, to tweak it, to train it, to adjust it, to put it on a PowerPoint slides or whatever it may be. Now, I was put on a very tight time schedule and budget to get you guys the value, the content out as fast as I possibly could. And so what that means is that it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be some ums, there's going to be ahs, there's going to be me going back and forth a little bit, and a little bit of, before I get into me, I'm kind of squirrel mode a little bit. My head goes a little bit all over the place, and that's kind of how I think. I talk a million miles a minute, as you can tell right now, and sometimes I skip over little details, and what I'll do is I'll take a pause, and I'll say, hold on, we'll get to that in a second, or go back and forth, and so I can put the pieces together again. And that's usually why I take a little bit more time to create the course, so that way I don't do that in the final product. But I think that this is going to be more personable. Us in MLM space, too much time, we're trying to be perfect. We're trying to be polished, and we think that we have to be something better than we're not. And it's totally okay to be you. It's totally okay to be us. And that's what's really cool about the MLM and network marketing space, is that it's not about being perfect. None of us are perfect. None of us are ever fully polished. And we get to leverage the systems and the processes and the company and the products and all the things that are in place and given to us in network marketing. And that allows us to kind of be us and be free and be okay with our mistakes, our ums, our ahs. And so that's why I'm excited. And that's why it's okay with me to create this product for you guys in the way that I'm going to be creating it. Because I know that you guys you'll understand, you're kind of the same way. It's how you build your business anyways, is not perfect. Because guys, the truth about it in MLM is if we're trying to be perfect and we're trying to get other people to do what we do, too many people are going to look at us, and guess what's going to happen? Nobody's going to duplicate. We're not going to get any downline. We're not going to get any recruition. We're not going to get any sales, because people are going to be like, dude, I can't do that. But in MLM, when you're being real, when you're being you, guess what? People can be them, can be real, can be you. And so when you give people permission to be okay at being okay, that's when you really guys are going to be successful in your downline. But before we do that, what I'm going to do is I want to tell you a little bit about myself and what to expect going out of this course going forward. So first, let's roll that intro. Me, I'm a 26-year-old full-time entrepreneur that has done what most people want to do when it comes to entrepreneurship. I fired my boss and I've lived a laptop lifestyle. At this current point in time, I am involved in a network marketing company, and I have a downline of close to 1,500 people, but that's not kind of the whole picture. That's just kind of a piece to my puzzle. I own a full-service media marketing agency called Trimble Digital. It was called Trimble Media. We're going to be rebranding it, calling it Trimble Digital here in a little bit, working on that process as pieces go through. And originally called Jeff Trimble Marketing. So that's where I started, but it over the last 2 years, actually, let's tell you a little bit about that. Over the last 2 years, I've successfully lived the laptop lifestyle. Like I said a little bit ago, I left the United States 3 times, went to 6 or 7 different countries, maybe 8. I've been on, in the last 2 years, 200 different airplanes. In the last 6 months alone, I've been to 7 or 8 different states, maybe a couple more. I do a lot of traveling. That was a lifestyle that I wanted to build. That was the freedom that I worked very hard for. That's all I dreamed about as a kid. Going to work, going to jobs, so someday I could live the laptop lifestyle. I can travel, I can experience, I can have the freedoms that happen in life. Now, funny thing about freedoms is the more freedoms that you have in your life, the more freedoms that you want to give to other people, because how amazing are freedoms? And I'm sure you guys have some of those as well, the skills, the assets, the things inside of yourself that you're like, dude, I'm so good at this. I just want to help other people be good at it too, because you're passionate about it. So that's kind of where it came here, and where Jeff the Honest Marketer came in. A few years ago, I kind of readjusted and changed my network marketing business, my marketing company, marketing agency, Trimble Digital. I adjusted it and tweaked it to be more of a coaching consulting brand a little bit, where we still handle clients, we still do a lot of work, but I wanted to give back a lot for the people that showed up for me and helped me along the way, because I had a lot of people that showed up kind of along the way for me. And so I started to launch Jeff the Honest Marketer. So that's how most of you probably know of me or have seen any content online of me. It's Jeff the Honest Marketer. Honest marketer means that I'm gonna be honest with myself, so I can be honest with you. I'm gonna be true to myself, so I can be true to you. And I don't need to lie to myself. Nobody's perfect, and I'm okay with being me. And if I'm okay with being me, then I'm okay with helping you and not being perfect and not creating the best content ever or having mistakes or not. You see what I'm saying? If I'm honest with myself, then I can be honest with you. And that's what Jeff the Honest Marketer really means. I think that that's where it all starts for me, is in everybody, is we have to be accepting and honest of ourselves, of our faults, of our problems, of our issues, our weaknesses, our strengths. All starts with honesty. Now, a little more before I go here. I started, and so that way you can kind of understand where my background for marketing and what I'm going to be teaching you is coming forward. I started as an entrepreneur, I don't know, in middle school, high school, technically, I guess. I was selling lollipops at school. In high school, I sold energy drinks, an energy drink called cocaine. No, it didn't have any drugs in it, but I thought that it was cool branding, and it was. It actually spread like wildfire throughout the school. I probably sold, I don't know, $10,000 worth, maybe less, a couple $1,000s worth. We won't put an exact number on it because I don't exactly know, but I sold a couple $1,000s worth of that energy drink easily. So much so that the principal got called my senior year, and I got called to the office for selling cocaine, and I had to like defend that, so I didn't get in trouble, but didn't get in any trouble, but stopped. Whatever, doesn't matter. I was always a hustler. I always wanted more. I was always kind of like achieving for success. But with me, when I first got started, I was very awkwardly shy. I didn't know anybody. I didn't really have a lot of friends. And the reason that I was successful with the energy drinks in high school was because I sold it to my friends. And then what happened was I had another hustler friend of mine, which I had like two, and I just said I didn't have any friends. I had two friends, and one of them was a kind of a hustler. She went to like auto shop and hung out with a different crowd than I did. And we were friends, but we weren't really completely friends, right? And so she started to move the product for me, a lot of it. And eventually another person came on and started to help me as well. And then eventually people just started running to me. What I was really good at is talking and selling to people. Always at a young age, I could tell a cool story that got people to buy, or having a cool quality product to buy from me. And but I was never able to kind of break the ice and push through. And so that kind of takes me going forward, is that I eventually jumped into MLM company and started jumping from MLM company for a couple of years. I went from sales job to sales job as well, because I read a book by Robert Kiyosaki that says if you don't know what you want to do in your life, go to a sales job. So that's what I did. I got in an MLM, network marketing, got a sales job, started learning marketing and sales all at the same time. But I started learning marketing more so because I couldn't convert anybody. First thing that happens when you step into a network marketing company is that they say, write down your list. Who do you want to talk to? Who do you want to pitch? And for me, I had those two friends and my parents. So I had a total of like 10 people on my list, and every single one of them said no. So what's left? I had to and I was also in a small town, small city that was dying, and mostly retirement town that I just didn't know how to push into the network. So what's left? At that time, it was like 2012, 2013, something like that. The internet is just kind of getting figured out. And so I started to turn to the online world. There wasn't a lot of quality coaches or quality information out yet. And so I started struggling myself, getting on Instagram, getting on Craigslist, getting on Facebook groups, automation. And long story short, over the next 2 years, I really learned a lot of things, what to do and what not to do. Eventually I had a bunch of Instagram accounts. I kind of like planted my flag in Instagram for a little while. I grew 6 or 7 different Instagram accounts to 70,000 followers, all off of completely free traffic because I was too broke to rub nickels together. So it was all free traffic. Grew Facebook pages, several of them to 4,000, 5,000 likes. It's all again from free traffic. And eventually what happened is that my dad started to talk about me to his Chamber of Commerce, to his community, etc., etc. And next thing you know, people all but started knocking down my door to do the same thing for their companies, for them. So that's where the marketing agency really came in, is I started learning the hard way. Not like most of these new marketing agencies that are being spawned. They take a marketing course and then they think that they're the best marketer ever. It happened for me over the course of 3 or 4 years, actually, maybe 5. Of just me struggling and testing and tweaking and doing all these crazy things, trying to grow a list, a database for myself. I didn't have a lot of success in network marketing there either. I wasn't selling a lot of products online because of what I'm going to teach you actually in this course. And what I realized was, going forward, there was a couple of pieces missing. One, me running the marketing agency and working with these companies, these big companies, some of them multiple $1 million companies and pawn shops, landscaping companies, insurance agents, real estate agents, network marketing agents, working with them that were super successful, I started to get a unique view of their business. And I was able to look inside their business and pull little pieces out of what they were doing and kind of modify it and tweak it to the online world. Because every single one of them were successful in the offline world, but majority of them had no idea how to convert the offline world to the online world because they're two completely different things. And then with insurance agents, real estate agents, those guys are hardcore trained salespeople, and sales is not marketing. And so what I started to realize too is that there was a disconnect on people were trying to sell online instead of trying to gen leads online. And so what I got really good at is genning leads and closing deals, genning leads and closing deals. And for about 2 years there, that's all I did. Genning leads and closing deals for other companies. Like I didn't do a lot of the closing. I was just genning leads. I became the lead generation guy. Conversions through paid ads too, and free traffic and branding and a lot of things I'm going to be teaching you here. But I genned leads for doctors, chiropractors, insurance agents, landscaping companies, lots of different companies. But what I started to realize is that I took a tangent and a detour for a long time, not a long time, I guess, for some of you guys that are much older than 26 than me. But for my years, I took a detour for 2 years. And I wasn't happy working with all of these clients. What I originally wanted to do was go out there, build a personal brand, get a lot of traffic on me, and help other people go through the processes and stuff that I had learned. And so once I realized that, I started firing off, like I said a little while ago, firing off all the marketing clients, not all of them, but a bunch of them. I went to at one point I had almost $30,000 a month in clients. I had my biggest month there, and I went there, I'm miserable, fired them off, started traveling a lot. That's where all the traveling comes in. Did a lot of soul searching for me of what was missing. Why was I feeling this way? I wanted to be successful and I wanted to make a bunch of money, but it wasn't the money for me. It was the system. I didn't know how to do the system, and I was trying to do what I'm going to teach you guys here wrong. And so over the next 6 or 7 months, I started to develop what was working for me and started to see and look a little bit deeper and digest and process what these people were doing instead of doing it for them, learning how to take what I know and teach it to them, if that makes sense. Because doing it for somebody and teaching it to somebody are completely different things. Just because I know it doesn't mean I can teach you how to do it. And so that was a big problem for me in my online career. And if you look at any of my old courses and stuff, I wasn't a good coach, because what happens is, and so you guys know, this is what's going to happen here too, because I'm still growing. I've only been doing this for about 2 years, the coaching side of things now. That it comes second nature to you. Like the things that you know, you forget or miss details, and so you skip over them because they don't seem important, or they're not, not that they don't seem important, it just they come second nature. It's so, inside of you that it makes common sense, but to other people it doesn't make sense. And so I really loved that, because when I was working at a job and everything that I was doing is I was acquiring skills, and I wanted to become better and wanted to grow, and that's what made me feel good. And that was part of the reason at the agency I wasn't feeling good, because I wasn't growing, I wasn't leveling up. And so the coaching side of things really pushed me to become something that I was really bad at. I was kind of introverted. Not like introverted, I was a weird introvert. Like I was an extrovert stuck in like this, I'm afraid to coach people or afraid to reach out to people kind of guy. Like once they came through my little wall, once they broke the ice, I was the life of the party. But I couldn't break the ice first, right? I couldn't make the first impression. I didn't know how to do that. And the internet really helped me to do that, to gen leads, because a lot of people, again, were genning leads offline. And so that's where a lot of my skills were, is try to figure out how to break that ice with people through the internet, which I was more comfortable at and more confident at of doing through the internet and texting and Facebook messaging and prospecting and content and blog posts and all these things I'm going to be teaching going forward. So if you're anything like me, where you were scared, like this is a true story. I was so scared to get on the phone and talk to somebody when I first joined my network marketing company. My upline literally had to call me on Skype or Zoom and watch me. Actually, I'll tell you the whole story. He literally told me, he's like, dude, I want you to type in that phone number with your phone. At the time we had, I don't know, smartphones. They were smartphones. So I typed it in, and he goes, and they were buttons though. I had like a I don't know, whatever. It had a button on it. And he goes, I want you to hold the button right now, type in the number with one hand, hold the phone. And he goes, I want you to take your other hand and put it inside your pants and just grab a hold of everything that's in there. And I'm like, this is so weird. My guy's like watching me on Skype right now. But I'm like, okay. I grabbed the whole thing of my junk and he just starts laughing and he goes, if you have anything in your right hand right now, then click that green button. And it's the funniest story because it's what I needed. I needed somebody to look at me and be like, dude, don't be a little bitch. And that was the push. I was so scared that I needed somebody just to kind of slap me in the face and say, dude, shut up and quit complaining. And it was his nicest way that he could say it without really saying, don't be a little bitch. And I'm a little profane. I say bad words. It's going to happen going forward. I hope it doesn't offend any of you guys. I love you all. But that's just who I am. Jeff, the Honest Marketer. My mom yells at me for it. So I'm working on it. Okay, I'm working on it. But that's the truth. And a few years later, I knew that was a weakness of mine. So I ended up working at a call center. Got over that. I took 25 to 30 phone calls every single day for almost a year so I could get over that fear of talking on the phone and learn how to sell over the phone. Because again, I wanted to get the skills. I knew it was a weakness of mine. And that's just who I am. So I learn from my weaknesses and I just want to give those things back to you. And I understand where you guys come from in a lot of cases of not knowing how to use Instagram or not knowing how to pitch somebody or not knowing how to generate a lead online or not knowing how to get a branding online or not knowing how Instagram works or how that puzzle pieces fit in. And so what I'm going to be doing, okay, going forward with the end of my story here, the rest of this kind of course, how it was created, so you guys know, two things fold. One, I just finalized a course called Grow Your List, and I'm going to mention it a couple of times. Grow the List, and it's growthelist.com. It's a membership coaching program where I'm going to be teaching some of these things. So now what I did was I finished that, and then I took some of the pieces that were inside Grow the List, because it's a little bit different format than this. And I decided I was going to take a couple of pieces of that, and sometimes I'm going to include a module from that membership in here, and sometimes I'm not. And so like I'm going to reteach it in a different way. But so you know that's where this whole thing comes from. And where I got the information for Grow the List is I started to interview a bunch of different people. I went out to them and said, hey dude, if you had no other option but to turn to the internet to grow your business, insurance agents, real estate agents, coaches, network marketing people that were already successful, that already had an offline brand, I asked them what would they do, and a lot of them came along and had all these cool ideas like drop shipping, or I would create an email list, or I'd create an ebook, or I'd post ads on Facebook, or I'd get on LinkedIn, and they had all these cool little schemes, and all of the schemes were good, and I love that word scheme, and I'm going to talk about it later on. But all the schemes were good. They're not wrong. They were all right. But what I realized is that all of these people had the wrong piece to the puzzle. And it's because of how the internet has evolved. And it's mostly the fault of all the online gurus and digital coaches that are out there. Because what they do is they take the most sexy piece out of their whole system and then they teach that one piece to you. But the problem with that piece is that it's only a piece. And that piece usually is a growth hacking piece. And if you only have the growth hacking piece, and I'll give you an analogy here when I start teaching in a second, but if you only have that one piece that they gave you, then the rest of the thing doesn't work, because you need more components. And so I started looking at that and I realized where the weaknesses were, right? I reached into their business. I had a unique view. They were paying me to do the marketing for them. So when I called them and asked them questions, they were like just spewing it all. Some of them looked at me and said, I'd just pay you to do it. And I was like, dude, if I wasn't here, but if I had I had a very unique view with a lot of these people that were honest and very, very open, because they were my clients and some of them still are. And so that's where this all comes from. It comes from seeing their disconnects, and so I can fix them for you, because I know that if they have those disconnects, you probably do as well. And so I want to kind of fix those disconnects and build a system for you guys that is evergreen, ever fulfilling. That you do the work. It's not necessarily once, but you do the work in a massive amount of work in a very short period of time, and then you have a bunch of stuff done for you for the next 4 months or whatever it ends up being for you. It's a process that you do it and it just feeds you basically all the time, forever, and it's very little maintenance. It takes a lot of time to set up for the first time, and then it takes spurts every quarter to keep running. but then after that, it takes nothing, almost no work, a couple hours a day here and there, and it's just going to keep spewing you out content and leads and people that are going to want to do business with you. So I hope you guys are excited. Thank you guys for watching through this video. It was quite a bit longer than what I expected it to be. But in the next video, we're going to get started on kind of breaking down their disconnects and the system. All right. So I'm excited to have you guys here. I hope you guys are super excited to be here as well. And if you have any questions, this is why you guys have your Facebook group, and this is why you have your guys' community. And if you guys are interested in Grow the List, like I said, growthelist.com. And I'll mention a little bit more about that later on, and we'll get excited. Let's go. All right. For now, hey, Team Trimble out, and we'll see you in the next module.